New details tonight about the number of Haitian migrants requesting asylum in the U.S. Thousands of them had set up camp underneath a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. In a matter of days, the camp went from looking like this to this, completely cleared out. According to DHS, Border Patrol agents encountered 30,000 migrants over the course of the past 2.5 weeks. More than 12,000 of them were released into the United States in Texas and Florida. Another 8,000 returned to Mexico, while 2,000 of them were deported to Haiti, even after many had spent the past several years in Central and South America. News Nation's Michael Shore is live in Los Angeles tonight. And Michael, Secretary Mayorkas faced a number of tough questions today on the administration's response to this crisis.
Yeah, as you could have expected, Ruta Bay, the secretary, was called on to a couple of the Sunday morning shows to explain the situation, not just about the deportations, not just about the treatment of some of those migrants on the border. It's treatment that the Biden administration has said that they abhor, that they're embarrassed about, and that they are going to investigate. But what he's there to do is to explain what happened and what will happen to those who came into the country. So you have these, it's 17,400 approximately that have been processed thus far. He did say the number that have been released into the country are between 10 and 12,000. He cited the fact that there's CDC Title 42, which is kind of a get out of jail free card for both the Trump administration and the Biden administration, as far as telling people they can't come into the country to have this process because of the pandemic. Mayorkas also talked about that and the ramifications of what happens to people once they get here, because that is a question that people have.
They are monitored by us. We impose conditions upon them, so we keep in touch with them and ensure their appearance in court as the law requires.
Ruta Bay, the law requires that, but numbers say about 44% of those who have those appearance dates show up to them. That's a small number when you consider the number of immigrants coming in here. The secretary also this morning, Ruta Bay, saying the system is broken. This is not how it should work, but this is how it does work, and this is what the administration and his administration, Homeland Security, want to change about the way immigration happens.